Good afternoon, VV Nation. My name is Ryan. Welcome to the Thursday stream. This is actually, yes, this would be the first Thursday stream, right, Joey? I don't think I've ever done a trending Thursday before. I know I've done the mobile stream. Yeah, but Glenn does have the day off today. He should be back tomorrow, business as usual, for the mobile app stream. Please put in VV in the comment section if you can hear me, if you can see me. Me and Joey are running the operation today, so probably should go smoother than what you're used to. But the market starting off with some optimism, to say the least. Joey, let's go ahead and jump into the software. The alert should be hitting any second now. Did the alert go out? I believe it did. All right. Now we're in the software. Let's take a look here. It still hasn't hit? We'll give the alert just a moment to hit here. But we got the VectorVest 7 software. Look, another green light today. I know it's all over the news, the Optimism, the potential trade deal with the UK. So that's definitely giving some, relief to investors, trying to bring some certainty back into the markets. All right, Rose says, yes, the alert went out. All right, everyone's making their way into the room. I like it. Make sure you hit that like button because, again, I'm going to keep the Glenn's rule. For every 10 likes will be a stock pick. So, just make sure you hit that like button so at the end of this presentation, we'll be able to cover as many stocks as you guys want. All right, so as we're taking a look at the VectorVest 7 software, look at the top industries. Everything in positive territory today except foreign international, utilities, sector materials, and dairy products. And these items that are down have been typically up for the most part. Dairy being one of the top RT industries, for really about the last 2 months, really. But you see it's dropping down quite a bit here. That one's taking a breather. So if you're in those positions, or those trades, just remember to stick to your stops. Is Glenn brown bagging? I don't think he's brown bagging it today. We'll see. Hey, Carol, how are we doing? Let's see here. We've got Contria from Canada. All right. It's beautiful here today. I mean, it's mid-70s. Sun is out. I'm liking the weather here. Makes me want to get to the beach sooner than later, right? But yeah, a lot of optimism in the market today. As we can see here, that optimism clearly affects the gold trade, right? We're starting to see that unwind a little bit. I mean, overall, having a little bit of gold, probably not the worst idea. But again, draw some trend lines, some 20-day EMA, something that says, hey, I'm on the right side of the trend when it comes to those gold stocks, right? Once that unravels, or if it does, you exit those positions, right? Don't keep it emotional. Great news on the UK, but with all due respect, a minor deal. Yes, Bill. And actually, let's go ahead and jump into the stories. Let me pull that up real quick. Here we are. That's actually the first story I have. It says, why the Bank of England governor thinks uncertainty is here to stay despite a trade deal. And the UK trade deal is definitely a step in the right direction. But I think the market, at least in my opinion and my thoughts, a little bit more concerned about the Chinese trade deal than I am the UK trade deal, and especially, Mexico and Canada. But hey, it is a step in the right direction. So hopefully, we'll see more deals in the near future, bringing more optimism in the market and making more money for the bulls, right? But that being said, look, Bank of England governor told CNBC on Thursday that the UK was heading for more economic uncertainty despite striking a trade deal with the United States. Now, to scroll down, they did have a rate policy change today. Where was it? Here is the tariff and trade situation has injected more uncertainty into the situation. That was this article. Oh, there it is right here. The UK Central Bank cut interest rates by a 0.25 percentage point on Thursday, taking its key rate to 4.25%. So again, even though they struck a trade deal, the Bank of England decided to lower rates due to uncertainty. You can see it was a just 25 basis point cut 2 voting to hold rates, and 2 voting to reduce by a larger 50% basis point. So you can see the policy committee within the monetary of the UK being pretty indecisive, right? Let me check about the monsoon preseason. Roger says, hopefully we haven't had measurable rain in a couple years. Well, here in North Carolina, we've had a lot of, well, not so much this summer, but I know last fall we got definitely way too much rain. But that being said, I mean, yes, some optimism, but I don't think this whole thing is behind us. As we all know, the updates are going to come pretty quickly. But another good story on the crypto side of things, you know, hey, and Glenn, go figure, he's off today. Otherwise, I would probably have to talk some smack. Bitcoin above 100,000. At least last time I looked, it was like 101. Let's just take a look here and see. 101, yeah. So big news coming out this week, right? I've said it before. It doesn't matter my opinion about Bitcoin, but if you start seeing states and, you know, companies putting this alternative asset or others, cryptos, you know, probably the top market cap ones, you know, that's going to create a snowball effect, right? We've seen a lot of bills and talk, but New Hampshire becoming the first state to pass strategic Bitcoin bill reserve into law. So one state has done it, New Hampshire, ahead of the curve here. So we'll see how this plays out. But me personally, I have a feeling that it's going to be a snowball effect. You know, once one state does it, then another one, especially the naysayers, you know, with Bitcoin back above 100,000. A lot of those naysayers tend to, you know, drift into the wind a little bit more, right? But we'll see what happens. You know, the only thing I have to say about Bitcoin, it held its own when it comes to volatility, especially to the Mag 7, especially to the NASDAQ 100, since the beginning of the year, since the tariffs. So because I saw that volatility, less volatility than if you take, you know, NVIDIA from its high, you know, up in the 150s down to its low. So it does prove to be a less volatile asset. You know, that's just, you know, my opinion. Well, not opinion, but even the Mag 7 ETF, it was less volatile. I think it was down like, I did a video on it. I think it was like close to 20%. And then Bitcoin, I think it's like 15% drawdown. See, John, that means Glenn and Ryan are coming to New Hampshire. John, that would be awesome to, you know, go out there and shoot, you know, a video about the Bitcoin reserve. It gives us a reason. I guess we'll have to string that in Monday's meeting, Joey. What do you think? You think they'll let us in New Hampshire for a Bitcoin video? Joey says no, unfortunately. Well, he didn't say no, but he said we'll be told no pretty quickly. NVIDIA has bad news today, didn't they? Jen, I did a video on NVIDIA. That's going to be tonight's 6 p.m. video, so I'm not going to talk too much about it. But one of the last, you know, articles and big news coming out was yesterday, and that was at the Trump administration taking a second look at the CHIPS Restriction Act. That was both under Trump 1 and the Biden administration, putting restrictions on China. But pulling that back a little bit, because Lisa Su had commentary, obviously Henson Wong has had commentary, that's not good. You know, China being 50 billion market cap in AI technology, that's a lot of lost revenue for those companies. But tonight's video is on NVIDIA. So if you're holding NVIDIA, if you're thinking about buying NVIDIA, I'm bullish on NVIDIA. I see a lot of good chart patterns, good news. The market showing optimism in general. So it's been a while since I've done an NVIDIA video. It's been a while since I've done a semiconductor video on a Thursday. So put that on your radar for this evening. All right, that being said, the next story here, we've got Dave stocks soaring after massive Q1 earnings. Oh, there's a paywall here. Go figure. Look, 27%. So here's the guidance here. All right, so the revenue, 475 million versus 420 in consensus. So yeah, up about $40 million there. But this stock has catapulted as a top VST company. So we shall see how it plays out. But I want to take a look at it. I wanted to give a shout out because now it is in the top 10 for VST with its catapult today on a strong earnings beat. Here we go. I've got the story right here, actually. NVIDIA stock wavers as Trump plans to scrap Biden's chip export rules. Jensen Wong wanted this. A lot of companies, I see there's a paywall here, since I don't have Glenn's login. But either way, tonight's video is going to touch base on this. This is going to bring a lot of momentum and enthusiasm when it comes to the semiconductor space in general. I see AI being talked a lot more about in earnings calls. And in the general news as well. But yeah, that's it for the stock story. Let's go back to the software. Let's take a look at these stocks here, see how they're doing today. All right, you see Dave, look, up 40% right now, 40.8. If I go, let me scroll up here, go to the stock viewer. You see, look, Dave is now in the top 5, so I wanted to give it a shout out for that. But what's good about the software, just let's go back here. All right, there we are. The auto fit. All right, so Dave's at the top of the list here with VST. Now the stock overvalued, right? So momentum play. Obviously before today, probably was at least closer to his value. It's up $44. So yeah, it's definitely a lot closer to his valuation. We'll take a look at the chart. Fundamentally, it's still got long-term price appreciation potential. So for a stock to be overvalued but having an RV above 1, that is still a good indication of long-term price appreciation to come with this position. Now the RT relative timing, it's at 2. It's maxed out. All these indicators on a scale of 0 to 2, right? So RTs are short-term price trend indicator, shows you the magnitude of that short-term price trend, and it's maxed out at 2. Yeah, it's an overbought situation, right? So you have to be a technical trader and a well-disciplined trader, and one that's comfortable with volatility, right? 41% move in a single day. So, if you're not comfortable with those kind of attributes, this is not the stock for you. But we'll take a look at the chart in just a moment. Look, we got NVIDIA here, up 0.75%. Broadcom, the semis, based on that news, all in positive territory today. I got the Bitcoin, BTC, just at a, it's pretty much a spot ETF, single leveraged here. It's up 5%. And then I also got XXRP. If you're a little bit more speculative, can handle a little bit more volatility. That's also a crypto. It's an altcoin, alternative coin. So just, heads up, some good positions here. But look, tech and crypto. And we got Dave, a nice momentum play. So let's take a look at the charts here. Will it not let me maximize the window? Sure. Okay. Shift button. Oh, there we go. All right. So here we've got Dave, the first company here. Obviously, the 3 is going to be above the 8. You could see the price action. The stock became undervalued for a little bit, but in this channel, the stock was pretty fairly valued. If we go out to a year, just get a better picture. You can see the valuation on the rise with price action. That's a good inclination. Now with price action moving so much to the upside and diverging away from price, I do like that price is creeping up. I'd like to see a nice jump in it, justifying some of this price action, just like what we saw here. But overall, nice momentum play. Just looking at today's candlestick, trading at sessions high. So again, as long as you're comfortable with something, like 44% in a day, high volatility, high momentum. So if you're a technical trader, may want to take a look at Dave going forward. Here we've got NVIDIA. You can see Glenn drew just draw a trend line, right? As long as it's above that trend line, hey, we're gravy. I'm not going to talk too much about it. Again, tonight's video, 6 p.m., it's only about NVIDIA. Great information. Here we've got Broadcom. Again, nice rally, nice pivot there from April's low, back around April 7th here. You can see Broadcom hitting a low of $138. Right now it's at $209. It met its valuation. That was actually the only time it met our valuation here. So again, investors willing to pay a premium for Broadcom. If we go back to a year, you can see still kind of in the dip mentality, not trading at highs here. Nice level of resistance coming in soon. So if you're looking for confirmation, let's get above this level of resistance here. Glenn's got around 214. Does have a fresh buy rating. RT above 1. Look, the RT went positive right, let's see here. It was right here. RT, nope, 0.99. 1.07. Back on April 25th, RT going into positive territory, giving sentiment for the bulls. I like what I see here with Broadcom. Here we've got AMD. Again, just as long as it stays above that trend line, value and price action have been on decline for quite some time. It's been in a descending channel for quite some time as well. But you can see, the optimism changing a little bit to the side. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of these semiconductors kind of channeled for a little bit, depending on, the news of the day. But hopefully, as far as the sell-off, because a lot of these semiconductors are lower or roughly around the same than they were 12 months ago, AMD being one of them. Here we've got Taiwan Semiconductor. Again, look, not too much higher than it was a year ago. It's been a rough year for the semiconductors, but it is undervalued right now. Price action on the rise. Value on the rise as well over the last about a couple weeks here, since about a month. Yeah, since about April 15th. You see value starting to rise, price action starting to rise. That downward trend line, looks like Glenn had some kind of downward trend line on here. Nice retest. And look at RT relative timing. Finally coming positive. It hasn't been positive since February, giving a lot of warning to our subscribers of the downward momentum seen in the market and TSM in general. But RT now back above 1, coming in at 1.05. Very favorable for the bulls. Here is Bitcoin. Glenn's been looking at Bitcoin. You see, it looks like he's got a nice level right here. I like this level. Nice pierce through it. This is around 44.31. Clear break. We're at 44.93. Trading at sessions high. If I go to intraday chart, yeah, I mean, it's bullish pretty much all day. Did a nice little uptrend there. I like what I see. Can you speak? Can you have a peek at SOXL? Actually, I will take a look at SOXL. XOXL, I like it. Like, if you don't want to have the volatility of some short expiration options, but you still want some good enough volatility to reap a good profit potentially. SOXL is triple leverage, right? It moves quite a bit. Let's take a look at it here. And if it starts to roll over, hey, you have SOXS. So we'll just put SOXS in here. This is how you can play both sides. SOXL long triple leverage. You got SOX. Forgot the S here. SOXS. Well, there's the bearish. Let's see. Why is that? SOXL. There we go. All right, so here's SOXL. Let's do 3 months. You can see, obviously, the sell. Let's go to a year, actually. I mean, SOXL, let's see here. It was about $40 a year ago. Now we're at 14, right? If we take this to 5 years, you could see the cyclical nature of semiconductors. I've said this before, they could be very cyclical in nature here. And you got a nice run, then flat to down for a while. Nice run, and then flat to down. Nice run, big run. Almost looks like a cup, but that handle kept on handling to the downside. But again, let's see here. If I really want to get a sense of when this long-term downtrend is broken, I'd put this on the SOXL. And if price action gets above this, that's definitely a good time to start putting semiconductors on your radar for the long term. RT relative timing at 0.35, and it's a bottom fishing strategy, right? We're going to take a look at some bottom fishing searches in Unisearch, just because, I mean, the results have been fit. So if you don't have the software and you want to see some of the power of the VectorVest having software, I'm going to show you that. If you do have the software and you haven't quite utilized or found out the best ways, make a buck in Unisearch, hopefully I'll be able to show you something new today, or at least give you some confidence to utilizing Unisearch to find some winning trades. But SOXL, it is leveraged, so the 3 is below the 8 right now. It's still a little early in the trade. Actually, this is a weekly. Let's go to end of day, 3 months. All right, so on an end of day, it is above. Even on the weekly, you can see it converging close, showing that optimism, hopefully, for the bulls. It's a little early on the crossover. But SOXL, even, you could play this to the upside, potentially take profits here for a nice short-term run. Or, you could see what happens here. But look for rejection. If you get clear rejection, just be careful of that. Take some profits if you're running. Let's jump into Unisearch now.
Ryan, tell them they can scan the QR code below at the bottom to get a trial, free trial.
Oh, okay. So Joey, look, he's bringing all kinds of technology here. So there's QR code right below the VectorVest 7 software. Just scan it on your phone, and it'll take you right to a free trial. You said free trial? 99 cents? Risk-free? What is it, 99 cents? $9.95. Okay. And if you don't like it, hey, you can always give us a call or email and ask for your money back. But it's less than $10. And with today's market and the optimism we're seeing, it's probably a good time for a trial, or at least start paying attention to some stocks. But yeah, as far as these companies, you see a lot of semis here. So let's go to Unisearch. And we don't have a confirmed call. I'm going to use the DEW. Because the DEW, if you're thinking about bottom fishing, taking nibbles into the market, the DEW is always a good one to wait for, especially if you're trying to do this on a more prudent approach. Because if you wait for the confirmed call, and all this confirmation, you're going to miss the bottom, right? The DEW, it does a really good job getting you close to the bottom, but with some optimism to the upside. So let's take a look here. We got the last DEW up signal, April 23rd. So it's been a couple weeks here. Now let's just mess around. Let's take a look at bottom fishing. All right, best of the biggies. These obviously are pretty simple, straightforward. Big cap companies been beaten down in price. If you look at RVRS, look, strong fundamentals. It's just the technicals, right? These stocks have just been beaten down with the market. Hit the like button. Ryan will only do 50 stocks if you don't hit the like button. 50? John, you wild, man. That's 500 likes. We'll see. You better hit it now because 500 likes, that's going to take a while. But yeah, so let's take a look here. We got quick test these positions here. Look at this. The biggest mover to the upside, CRDO. A lot of these stocks are above 20%. 15% on average. Only one loser, SMCI. And that one loser is less than 2%. The NASDAQ is up 8% since April 23rd. So these stocks here have just about doubled what the NASDAQ 100 have done. Great list of stocks. So here's another one, blue chip bargains. Again, this is going to be more kind of conservative to prudent style stocks in the bottom fishing folder. Bigger cap companies. Obviously, you see NVIDIA, Supermicron, Amazon, all the crowd favorites here. So if we just quick test these. This one here, 7% winners. You got 6 winners, 4 losers. The losers here, Google. That probably would have worked out better than, Apple released that news yesterday with the search feature, and obviously, their litigation concerns. They had a big drop yesterday, so that probably would have worked out better. And you got 2 Googles here. But look at that, 6 stocks overall winning, 7%, just about what the Qs have done. Now, if you're trying to get more aggressive in nature, or speculative really in nature, jailbreak, you can see it right here in the comment section. This is the mother of all explosive strategies for coming off a bottom. If you are not ready to, saddle up and get ready for a ride, this is not the search for you. But if you're a high momentum trader and, again, well-disciplined, you can make a lot of money with this search. I've seen people do it. Look, quick test here, 10% of these stocks. Biggest winner, 43%. FLNC, 29%. Outperforming the NASDAQ 100. I like what I see here. Let's take a look at the S&P. Let's see what's going on with the S&P here. Do you think Ford would be a good stock for the dividend? 5%. I think an automotive play is kind of a news-driven play right now. With tariff concerns, and that deal is going to be the Canada deal. So if we get If you hear news of a deal with Canada, that you probably see a lot of automotive stocks rallying from that. But stay news driven. Is the volatility in Ford, being caught in the crosshairs of this tariff and trade situation? Is that worth the 5% dividend? That's what you got to ask yourself, Jen. Rajiv, see, what is the name of the search, Ryan? This one here is S&P 500 RT. Oh, the folder is bottom fishing. Oh, the ones I've done, best of the biggies, blue chip bargains, jailbreak was 10%. This one here was the best one. It's like 15%. Let's see what the small caps are doing here during this rallying period. Let's see if they're showing the same momentum as some of these others. Small caps, woo! Hey, I haven't even ran this yet. I took it on a whim, but I trusted the software. This could have been bad, but you can see it's really good here. 21%, only 2 losers. The tops, look at this. 2 of these stocks have gone up more than 50% since April 23rd. Ryan, if you're selling a covered call, do you need your strike price to be way out of the money? Well, G-money, it's a double-edged sword, right? If you go further out, yes, you are safer from it being called away, right? But the further you get away in that strike price, the less premium you take in. You can always look at something like a standard deviation. Options Pro has the probability cone. So you want something, right outside the level of probability, but obviously to make it worth, you really got to weigh out how much premium you want to get. Look at things like resistance levels, prior swing highs, things like that. Maybe something right outside the level of resistance, right? Think of those in nature. Buy an in-the-money call. Ryan, if you're selling... Cheryl, that's if you're the buyer, right? G-Man was talking about selling. Hi, Joey. These 4 questions should be 2 surveys. Let's see here. But yeah, 21%. Actually, I'm curious. Let's see what Pirates Long did. If Russell 2000, that's the winner so far. Russell 2000 bottom fishing. We've seen a lot of the big caps, mega caps in here. Quick test. This is 10%. Let me just run the search. Yeah, 10%. Ooh, we got a double up, a bag. Hems. Ooh, Hems is bagged? I did not realize that. Ethereum, too? Well, that's probably with the Bitcoin. I like Ethereum. XRP, more Ethereum than XRP. It's just more time-tested, bigger market cap, more users. What do you think about starting a position on KD? We'll get to the stock picks in just a moment. What does Shopify chart tell you? Its earning report coming today, as you know. Yes, it is. What does bag mean? A bagger. A bag means the stock is doubled. If you got a bag, it means your stock is doubled. Hems got a bag. It's 100% gain. Since April 23rd, I like Hems. I've talked about it. That was my GLP-1 pick just because it attracts to a weaker consumer, essentially. It's cheaper. Their services, and that's kind of, their niche there per se. But most of these losers staying below 10%. One loser here, running the ground down 33%. But overall, look, 10% definitely beating the NASDAQ 100. Now let's take a look. All right, so we got the S&P small cap RT. Let's quick test this one. 17%. Woo! There we go. That's what's working right now. So with what's working, what we're going to do, let's change the date till today. Let's look at some fish. I want to go fishing. Y'all want to go fishing? Let's go fishing. Yeah, sure. That's all a bag means is just your stock doubled. Yeah, Hems is moving. I've said it. That's been my GLP-1 pick for a while now. I just think it's kind of like as long as the consumer feels strained, that's a good place. It's like Netflix, especially with a strained consumer. The cheapest thing someone's got going on there in their life is Netflix. That's how people save money. They don't leave their house. They stay home and they watch a movie. Because when you leave the house, you spend money, right? So Netflix is, if we're going into a recession, I would treat that almost like a utility company. It's the best of both worlds. And you got a growth, it's an ex-FANG stock. When was the bottom? IONQ is doing well. All these stocks are going to do well right now. You see the NASDAQ up with Optimism back in the market. 10-bagger build, shooting for the fence here. But we got the S&P small cap. This is what comes up right now if I run the search. Remember, we just did this one from the DW, and it was like, what, 15%? So let's see what we got here. Ooh. Let's graph these. Let's go over some charts real quick. That one's hard to sell. It's hard. It's undervalued as a drug company. Again, I know it's not going to look pretty. These are bottom fishing searches, so it looks, but that one's a hard sell. I'm not going to lie. Here we've got FTRE. This one looks like it's starting to try to find a bottom. Got a swing low, a higher swing low here, this pivot. If you want confirmation, take out the swing high. But look, the stock is undervalued. It's a drug company here. This one looks a little bit better, right? Here we go. We've got a gap to fill, a doji candlestick after the gap, right on our valuation, full-bodied candlestick today. This is a dangerous search, right? You're doing bottom fishing. This is a bottom fishing search. This is not a conservative approach, right? But this, I see the logic. I see the logic in this. I put a pretty tight stop on it, at least for the gap fill, and just in case it doesn't fill the whole gap, you might hit a level of rejection here around 745. But right now, it's at 620. That's over $1 on a $6 stock. So you're looking, about 15-20% there. Here's another position. We got Heli. This actually looks good. Might be breaking this downtrend. 3 converging to that 8 undervalued position. Here's Ichor Electronics, this semiconductor. This might just play off some of the big semis, the momentum of the semis in general. You can see the stock under pressure. But with NVIDIA, AMD, TSM all going in positive territory. Good news out right now. This might just be another one, a bottom fishing search you want to put on your radar. Nice blast off day. I'm not saying today's a blast off day, but it could be a good one for blast off day. Now here's one. I don't like, obviously, value declining, price action declining. It's a bottom fishing search. So again, very explosive, utilizing something like a 3 and 8 Bollinger Bands, star search, something of that nature, fast lane, maybe a trailing stop, but this is not, these aren't buy and hold stocks. These are quick pops, take your money and run. Anything more than that is on you. This one here, down day to day, approaching this low, I'd have to see a pivot, because if this makes a new low, and I'm going to have to take this, I wouldn't take this one. Here we've got IART's healthcare products. Again, under the pressure, undervalued. I guess that's part of the stock. This might be part of the search. I have to take a look at it, the parameters. But all these stocks are undervalued. Which, if I'm going to bottom fish, undervalued, hey, why not, right? Why not? IART, I do like this consolidation to the upside. I mean, you could throw a trend line on there, follow it on the upside of that trend. This one, not so much. Showing some momentum to the upside, not a lot of momentum, but hopefully that bottom is in. This one might be interesting. You see RT climbing here. I like that RT is climbing. And what was the big one? The big one, was the Russell 2000. This one was almost 20%, if I remember correctly, when let's see here, we can quick test it. This would be the other one we do, and then we'll take your stock picks today. I just wanted to give you some fish. And right now, having your rod out in the water, with green lights, keep appearing in the price column with a color guard. Hey, as long as I got a green light, I'm putting my rod in the water. If we get a yellow light, hey, just take a breather, right? That's why I got stops in place. So this was April 23rd. Let's quick test. I believe this was, so just over 20%. So I do want to show you this. Only 2 losers. A lot of big winners in here, 63%. So that was from the DEW up if you're just tuning in. So let's switch this to today and see what stocks come in the list here. See some potentials. All right. Again, a lot of these stocks bring in companies that I'm not familiar with. I'm sure a lot of these names aren't on your radar. So if you want good stock pick ideas or new stock pick ideas, Unisearch. telling you. And if you want to add, parameters to this item, you can. If you want a little bit higher price stocks or, whatever it may be, safety factor, you can add parameters in here. So let's just quick test this. Yeah. All right, here's Jade Biosciences, RT relative timing, very suppressed here at 0.01. Can't get much less than that. Now, I want to take out this prior swing high, this little swing high after the gap down. If we could take this prior swing high out, we got a big gap to fill. It went from $100 to $9. So there's probably some bad news there. Oh, it was a split. There was a split that day. Interesting. Okay. So that's why it's down so much. All right, so we got ACRV. This is a drug company. Gap down. The low was in yesterday. Wait for the 3 gets above the 8, but it's undervalued. We valued it close to $4, trading on $1.21. Very suppressed, oversold. This nice steady eddy to the downside. The stock finally finding our valuation. It was way overvalued there. Let's go further out. This is an all-time low. Yeah. Look for more of a pivot. Maybe take out yesterday's high before you put it on your radar, or the 3 to get back above the 8. It's hard to call that one right now. 1 month. This one just gapped down as of today. Let's take out today's high. Here's another bio company. Brand new low as of today. RT coming in at 0.2. Trying to come back. Take out yesterday's high for this one. We got a gap fill. Might cause a nice run. And that gap fill goes to $3. Right now it's $1.45. So it does have some upside potential there. Here's net power. Look at that. 3 just crossed above the 8. Let's go to 1 month. Take off the value. It is undervalued. Yeah, 3 just crossed the 8. This actually looks really good. This is a clean energy company here. But nice bottom fishing. RT as well. Hitting a new swing high. What is that? 0.05, 0.05. What's the next one? 0.07. Yeah, right between that. So if you want some confirmation, get RT back above 0.7. Create a new high there. But otherwise, for our early entry, as long as you're well disciplined, because again, this is a more aggressive, active trading style. This one not quite seeing the momentum. Maybe if I get, definitely, let's get price action above this high. That's going to be about $1.36. And then I'd be a little bit more optimistic. Here we've got MODV. Let's go to 6 months. It is starting to round out here. Channeling right now. Let's take out this high. If we can take out this high, that means that the 3 will stay above that 8, and it might be off to the races here. This might be a good play. Here we've got Huma. 3 is below the 8. It's a little early right now. We're keeping this low intact. I'd give it a couple days. I'm not on it. Not here right now. If I want a real confirmation price, about $1.50. All right. Now another item I wanted to go to was the Prudent folder. I wanted to go to VST bargains. So read the comment section here if you're new to Unisearch. You can always read the comment section. This one here finds all stocks in the database that have a buy recommendation. The stocks are sorted by VST multiplied value minus price. Since we subtract price from value first, the finding undervalued stocks, we then multiply that VST to get the best combination of value, safety, and timing, right? So you're getting the best bang for your buck in value, essentially, right? Here we've got MCOR, United Rentals, Progressive. Insurance has been hot lately. If I scroll over to the right, a lot of these stocks, big moves to the upside today being MCOR, United Rentals, IES Holdings, Comfort Systems, up 3% here. Let's take a look at the graphs. All right, here's EME. Let's go to 6 months. I mean, that's just a steady lower left, upper right, draw a trend line on it. Easy money. You can see Glenn's level of resistance here. Maybe one right here, which actually we just broke. I kind of retested it, and then now it's not. Yeah, we're looking good here on EME. I like what I see. Here is McKesson Corp, drug company. Down day to day, 3 converging close to that 8. I'd pass on this one. If you're looking to buy the dip, I'd want to see at least a pivot on probably right there. If we don't find some optimism soon, we could break that quite a bit. So this one I'm not sold on. Here's URI Rentals. Nice updated day, open candlestick, fresh buy rating. RT just getting back above 1 not so long ago. So I like what I see. Do you know if you could change the colors of the moving averages on the VectorVest app? I believe you can, can't you?
I'm not sure. I know you can on...
I'm always on my computer. I don't know, here at the office. I don't actually ever use the app just because I've always got monitors in front of me. I think the only time I ever use it just for the, not that it's bad or anything, but I'm always at my desk. I'd rather be in VectorVest 7. I was just looking at an X post where Trump was named the first American. No, John, we're not doing that in the comment section. I did see the new Pope. They did vote for an American Pope. I want to say he was going under the name Leo, if I remember correctly. Do you remember? Have you seen anything about that, Joey? No? I think it was going to be Leo. Well, I did find pretty interesting about that. I guess it was the largest cardinal vote. And they actually had more votes in Asia and out of Africa than the European votes. So that was pretty cool. And they chose an American, so interesting. But hey, there we go. Vic says Pope Leo the 14th. Okay. Yep. Leo Keith says Leo the 14th. Yep. I just saw that quickly on a headline earlier prior to coming over to the training center. But that's good news. Good news today, right? There's a new Pope. Market's doing good. And I like this. As long as the 3 stays above the 8, RT stays above 1, I'm here for it. Here's Progressive, right? Insurance was hot, a little wobbly, but look, it looks like, one thing I will say, boom. I wouldn't be surprised if Progressive wanted to try to maybe retest this in the near future. And if it doesn't, hey, otherwise I probably want to test maybe this prior high here, this prior swing high. But it's looking good. It's 3's above the 8. I can't be mad at it, right? Carol says, I spied on your office last Friday. I really enjoyed meeting. Yeah, I had quite a few monitors in here, right? Carol, it was a pleasure meeting you guys as well. The whole VIP, even just the day event, it was a great way to meet some of you guys and gals. Put a face to the comment name, right? Oh yeah, PGR, yeah, undervalued. Like, look at this company, IESC, value 368, price action 2, so undervalued, uptrend. Next level of resistance, real level of resistance probably coming in around here. And actually there's a gap right here. So you might have a nice run till 282. You see the gap? We're getting close to that gap fill. RT, rocking and rolling to the upside. Momentum is picking up even more. Here is CSL. Buy rating for quite some time now. 3 is above the 8. It was converging, but starting to move away today. RT hitting a new high here. I think, let's see here. Double check. RT 1.26, 1.32. Okay, so it might surpass that high. 1.32, 1.32. Okay, so we're right there. So if we get to 1.33, hitting a new high in RT, I like what I see there. John says lots of stocks are breaking out. CRS is high in that base, and earnings are behind them. It's nice for a good quality stock to have earnings behind them right now. We still got some big earnings report. NVIDIA's May 28th. That's one of the reasons why I decided to do it for tonight's video. As we all know, NVIDIA typically likes to rise a little bit right before earnings. It's probably going to bring up a lot of the other semis, and we're seeing that come to fruition right now, especially with some of the news out with that. But look, here's another one. Financial brokers, if you have not put this industry and these type of stocks on your radar, these are rocking and rolling right now. Here's another one, LPLA. The low came in around 260. Now we're at 342. We valued at 454. So even after the big run over the last month or so, the stock is still undervalued by metrics. 3's above the 8. Nice bottom wick showing buyers came in for the rescue today. Full bodied, trading close to session highs. RT relative timing. Look at this. The price trend, our proprietary indicator, telling us that price trend became favorable around 102. The close then was 319. And we see the run continuing right now to 342. Look at it. Our indicators are rocking and rolling. RT relative timing going to favorable territory at 1.09. The stock trading that day. 376 right now at 446, up $80 roughly there. Nice momentum. And since RT went favorable, strong buy rating. Right? Nice solid buy rating there. I like what I see. Building is hot right now, right along with financial brokers. Here we've got healthcare hospitals. This just hit a 6-month high. A little bit of rejection there. Just be careful. Wouldn't buy it on a down day, but 3 is above the 8. So if you're in it, not a whole lot of concern. RT relative timing continuing to hit new highs here at 1.25. The last time it came favorable territory, see here, was back April 23rd. That's when the DEW came up. Price action closed 335. Right now it's at 360, so it is creeping up. Here we've got Allstate Corp. RT relative timing up for quite most of it. It's pretty volatile here. A little bit of a drop off. Was that earnings? No, it wasn't earnings. But you can see it's recovering. If I use a freehand line, that's going to be the resistance right in there. Got about 210. Right now it's at 204. It's about $6 away from resistance, or roughly just shy of 3%. All right, it's 247. I know we went over a lot of random stocks today. Just want to put some things on your radar. Let's see how many likes we got. We got 72 likes. That's 7 stocks. First 7 stocks coming across the comment section are the 7 stocks going in this watch list. All right, TPC, someone's watching. G-Money, Vic, TATT. All right, got some good stocks here. TPC, TATT, DMA, BBAI. We got 5, we need 2 more. We've got DEC and SNEX, StoneX. Interesting. All right, here's the 7 stocks we're going to take a look at today. Let's open this company name up. All right, first one at the top of the list is TAT. See, look at the VSTs. They're coming at 1.51. Majority of the stocks you gave me, 4 out of 7. Buy ratings, only 1 sell rating stock here, and that's going to be Big Bear AI, up 7% today. You can see fundamentally the most speculative stock here as well. Right above that, this one's going to be speculative, EOSE. So if you're conservative, if you're prudent, if this is your 401k, these stocks may not be for you. That's something you have to decide for yourself, but just know the RV and RS ratings here, VectorVest will put these in the speculative category. For the other part, these are prudent stocks here. This one is going to be more conservative in nature, being TPC, since it's you're giving up some of that. This is going to be more aggressive in nature, since you're giving up some safety for some long-term price appreciation potential with the RV. But nice group of stocks all together. If we take a look at RTs, all but 2 are in an uptrend right now. We got DEC, and we got Big Bear AI. So let's take a look at these. Graphol. All right, aerospace and defense company. Look at that full-bodied candlestick hitting a brand new 3-month high. Let's go to 6 months. 6-month high, 1-year high. A lot of momentum behind this position. I know Glenn would be happy today with this one here. RT coming in at 1.75. So a lot of momentum in the trend here, right? So if you're not comfortable with buying a stock in an overbought situation, this may not be for you, but I like what I see here. The only concern that I really would have, and actually may not be that big of a concern, if this thing starts to keep going parabolic, look at this maybe as a level of resistance in the future, right? Just keep that in mind. Yeah, that would be about right here. So yeah, if it keeps going parabolic, keep this as a level of resistance. But RTO, the timing and favorable territory, if we use a date line, that becoming favorable. So yeah, this was April 28th. So recently new saw right before the 3 crossed above the 8-day EMA. But again, very volatile in nature, so just be careful of it. But I like what I see so far. Nice momentum to the upside. Here is StoneX Group. Look, financial brokers, lower left, upper right. Let's see what the 6-month looks like. Same thing, lower left, upper right. Let's change this graph layout, actually. Let's do a VectorVest simple layout. Rising earnings, RT rising, stop price rising, diverging away from that stop price. And look, Glenn, he must have done a video on this one. He's got a buy point here of 86.52. It confirmed it, and it went up to, what was the high here? 97. So about $10 in just over a week. Here's TPC. Ooh, big gap up today. Had a nice little uptrend from the break of the downtrend. Earnings per share is rolling over. RT coming out 1.82, huge jump, 0.99 to 1.82. It broke through this level of resistance here, which these are levels that I'm in Glenn's software here because I'm at the training center. But these levels I do like, and a clear break through it. Let's go to a 1-month chart. The bottom wick, using that as a level of support now. If you're not in it, maybe take out today's high for confirmation to the upside. But otherwise, I do like what I see there, even with the big gap up. Here's ADMA, nice sell-off today, but look at the buyers coming in. I mean, that is a huge bottom candlestick. I like what I see there, right at this level of support here as well. Rising earnings, RT staying above 1. It's still above 1 right now. The price trend is favorable, even with today's down day, at 1.13. Here we've got Deckers. It's staying above that trend line. Nice full body candlestick, rising earnings. And the RT about to become favorable. A little bit more upside momentum. And that RT can, get right above 1 pretty quickly. It's at 0.95 right now. It is above our stop price and moving away from it. So we've lost the sell rating, transition back into a hold. If you're in it, again, just keep it simple. As long as it stays above this trend line, rock and roll until you're happy with, the profits. Here we've got EOSE. This is a clean energy company. We're still in the body of yesterday's candlestick. I'd have to take out yesterday's high to get it, any kind of confirmation above that, right? But as of right now, as long as it stays within that body, we're not going to get much decision. If it breaks out to the downside and you're holding it, you got to have your stop price somewhere. But otherwise, yeah, I want to see this get outside of this candlestick. If I go to 3-month, I do like the bottom wick I see today. But yeah, for confirmation, let's take out yesterday's high. Coming in around $6.89, so we'll just call it $7. Once you see it go into 7s, you got some confirmation there. It might run up even more. So it went from $5 to $7. That's pretty, just above $5. Let's see here. What was the low yesterday? Low was $5.34. The high, $6.89. That's a big move in one day. Here we've got Big Bear AI. This stock is still in the channel. If you're in it, there's no sense of direction right now, so I can't really point you in a right, in a right way. Yeah, I'd have to see a breakout on either way. It's just a lot of consolidation here. If I go out to a year, you can see that. As far as getting optimistic, you want to get up to there about, was that 393? And then we could get a little bit more optimistic there. All right, let me close out of this. I just want to take a look at the major indices. We got VectorVest composite here. Here's on the 3-month chart. Let's go to 6 month. Nice uptrend, 3s above the 8. I do like valuation on the rise. The price of the VectorVest composite became undervalued ever so slightly. Right, you see the valuation there? Market felt that was a good deal, a good bottom. It's been off to the races ever since. RT relative timing at 0.96. So even the broad market, close to showing that some optimism when it comes to the short-term price trend overall. You see RT's been below 1 for quite some time with the bears mostly in control. Here's the NASDAQ 100, the QQQ, getting close to the level of resistance around 497. We're at 491 right now, 3's above the 8. RT is above 1 when it comes to the NASDAQ 100. It's at 1.21. So the short term for the mega caps are to the upside right now. Here's the S&P-Y. Look, nice uptrend. 3's above the 8. We do have a prior swing high coming in. This is going to be a real test for the S&P 500, right? Because after this prior swing high, it's the high of the market, right? From earlier this year. So showing some optimism there. We'll see what happens with the trade deals. The Russell, still pretty far away from its highs. Its highs was in December 2024. But not, as far as that retracement level, we're still on the lower half of it. Still shy of 2,000, a nice pop here, but we're seeing that Russell 2000 kind of roll over a little bit. I'd like to take out this swing high if I go to 3 months. You can see the swing high here. I want to see the Russell. What's the high? 2026. So yeah, I'd like to see it get above that just for some confirmation. Because right now it's kind of, moving sideways a little bit. Let's see. All right, the losers for the day, still the utilities, the defensive sector, materials, dairy products was hot. What's the big winner today? Crypto, coming in at 5%. So we'll take a look. I'm glad I think I loaded up some crypto stock or ETFs. On AMA, I think I got a couple. I think I got BTC in there. So it's looking like a good move, right? All right, everybody. That's about it. It's 3 o'clock. Like I said, Glenn will be back tomorrow. Should be business as normal for the mobile stream. I hope today's video was insightful. I gave you a lot of fish utilizing Unisearch. We saw that the bottom fishing searches, some of them, the Russell 2000 one divided by RT, since the DEW up on April 23rd, it was like 21% to the upside on the top 10 stocks, only 2 losers. A lot of those positions are searches. There was best of the biggies. I think that one was 15%, the first one in that folder. So hopefully that, put some things on your radar now that we're seeing some optimism in the market, whether it comes to, the administration or semiconductors or tech in general. But we're starting to see some risk being taken in investing right now. And we're also seeing the gold taking a pause, right? So if I'm going to be bullish on tech, things of that nature, seeing the pause in gold, seeing green lights, seeing the NASDAQ roaring today, that's what I want to see if I'm going to be optimistic when it comes to the mega cap or big tech companies. All right, everybody, enjoy the rest of your afternoon. Enjoy the beautiful weather. Here from sunny North Carolina. Whew, it's beautiful out right now. I can't wait to go enjoy this afternoon. Joe, you going to go hit the golf balls today?
No, tomorrow.
Oh, tomorrow. He's already got planned for tomorrow. See, everyone, go do something fun this week and enjoy it, right? All right, guys, take care. Bye.